You a little short for a stormtrooper?
What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of the Multiverse Report. We are recapping the week's nerdy news from Metropolis to Madripoor and everywhere in between. My name is Mike Gibson. It's October. It's officially spooky season, and even though I've been low-key celebrating it for the last couple weeks, I'm excited that it's actually here. But that's enough about me. With me, as always, is Steve Haller. What's up, Steve?
Well, we were talking about it earlier. You know, some people have pumpkin spice season. I have Martzen season and Oktoberfest season. So
Yep.
we're well into Oktoberfest. Like, we've hit the September Oktoberfest season. I will continue to carry this into the actual month of October and then right into spooky season. So we've got alternatives to pumpkin spice season here at the Multiverse Report.
Yeah, I don't do pumpkin spice. I did have a maple pumpkin ice cream twist today.
That sounds
like half
actually
maple
delicious.
ice cream and half pumpkin ice cream together. It was delicious.
Very
Shout
nice.
out to Pete's Polar Parlor in New York. Yeah.
Always a classic.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna start off with a story we talked about already in a special episode this past week. We're just kind of gonna sum it up a little bit, see if we had any new thoughts. We did a very special episode this Tuesday. It's past Tuesday, covering the pretty enormous news that Hugh Jackman is returning as Wolverine in Deadpool 3. If you want to hear our specific and in-depth thoughts about that, you can listen to that episode. That's pretty much the biggest news story that came out this past week.
Very much so. And we
and
had a follow-up to it, too.
Yes, because in that first episode, we talked about how they released a video, Ryan Reynolds being, jokingly funny about how they don't have any ideas for Deadpool 3, but oh, hey, Hugh Jackman, do you want to play Wolverine one more time? He says yes. So, like, the next day, they released a follow-up video.
Yeah, we jumped the gun and hit the instant reaction as soon as we saw that. We were like, oh my God, we need to talk about this.
That was huge news. We were both very excited about it. We were like, we should do a special episode.
Yep.
So we did. But if we had waited, we would have gotten this second video too. And that's fine because, you know what? Because we're still talking about it today, baby. It's fine. We're good. But, whoa, you just had a look on your face. Did you think of something?
I just had an epiphany that we'll get to later.
Oh, okay. About a different story?
About this story.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll set it up then. So we got a second video the day after the first video. That is Ryan Reynolds sitting on the same couch that he was in the first video. All this time, he's accompanied by Hugh Jackman. And they're saying, we know you have a lot of questions. And Hugh Jackman saying, I had a lot of questions too. And they're saying, we're not going to change what happened in Logan. Everything that happened in Logan really happened. Logan takes place in the future. And so, like, that really happened. And that's the end of Logan's story, or Hugh Jackman's journey as Wolverine. That's still the end of Logan. We're not touching that. But here are some ideas. And as they start saying what the ideas are and acting them out, classic Wham's Wake Me Up Before You Go starts playing and drowns out anything they're actually saying. So they're pretending to fight and stab each other with claws and swords and stuff. And all the time, wake me up before you go. It's playing in the background.
George Michael is
not in the background, playing over, so you
Right.
can't hear anything that they're actually saying.
Deadpool will always channel George Michael whenever he can.
Yeah, of course. And at the end, it like fades back out, and they say, "Yeah, so we're really excited. Thank you, Kevin Feige." Letting them do all this crazy stuff. So it doesn't really give us any information at all. But still a very funny video, very, very much in tune with every piece of marketing that we've ever seen for a Deadpool thing ever, which is genius. I don't know. I'm sure they have marketing awards somewhere. I feel like Ryan Reynolds himself should win all the marketing awards for all of his Deadpool stuff.
Oh, 100%.
So we got that follow-up video. Steve, do you have any, I mean, you just said you had an epiphany. Do you have any additional thoughts about, it's been a little less than a week, but we wanted to bring this up again in case you or I had any additional thoughts or feelings about Hugh Jackman returning. And if this leads into your epiphany, then I would love to hear it.
Well, it was actually something on the link that you sent about the story.
Okay.
Recommended reading on it was Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And this is going to come out in 2024 when everybody is released from the contracts in 2025 when we get the new Marvel X-Men cast. How insane would it be if they literally went full blown, like, get James McAvoy back, get Fassbender back, get like the entire old crew back, and just have Deadpool go ham on the Marvel universe?
This is a great epiphany that you've had that I've actually heard before, so I'm sorry. You're not the first person that has thought this.
Fair enough.
That it is possible, and how wonderful it would be if this movie was called Deadpool 3, Deadpool Kills the Fox Universe. That'd be amazing. There's been, for those of you who don't know what we're referencing, there's been a series of at least 2 that I know of Marvel books. Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, in which he has to, for whatever reason, there's a plague or it's zombies or something, and he has
one reason or another, he kills
everybody.
all the superheroes.
Yes, he's got to fight every hero and every villain. He's got to kill everyone. There's also been a Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe, I believe. Has there been more than just those 2?
Maybe. Don't know.
I feel like there should be a Wolverine Kills the Marvel Universe if there hasn't been. Someone should be writing that.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one. Hey, maybe that's what they're doing for Deadpool 3.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I have heard it posited before how great it would be if this saw the return of not only the Fox X-Men cast, but bring back some Fox Fantastic Four characters. I want to see Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds kill Chris Evans's
Human Torch. That'd be great.
Like, how cool would that be, right?
Michael Chiklis's Thing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't need to see Patrick Stewart die again as Professor X, but I'd watch James McAvoy get stabbed through the head with a katana blade.
Oh yeah, why not?
Deadpool, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be super fun. I can't imagine that they would do that though.
Oh no, I highly doubt there's any chance that happens. But I just was like, the timing is too perfect for them, like having to find a way to clean the slate.
Yeah.
Of, hey, this is no longer any of the X-Men folks, and they've already said that Jackman is like, this is Jackman's swan song, which we've already gotten before, but whatever.
This is the epilogue, I guess, or
the epilogue to the swan song
track. This is the bonus hidden track.
Yeah. We're straight out of 90s CDs here.
Yeah. Although I would not be surprised if we do get an additional Fox Universe actor back. I don't know who it would be. Would it be McAvoy? Would it be Fassbender? Anybody. But because it's Deadpool 3, because Hugh Jackman is back, like, this is heating, like, the star power of this film is escalating.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, I mean, because there was a whole, was it Deadpool 2 where there was the whole team wasn't like just in a door, like they just closed the door on the X-Men?
Yes, I think that was Deadpool 2. Because before
Deadpool
it was
2, right?
it was like that happened and then the X-Force thing happened.
Yeah, that was like James McAvoy and like 3 or 4 members of the actual, like, Beast.
Yeah, it was like a furry, like you saw furry blue, like, not, you didn't see Nicholas Hoult, but you saw
I think it was Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, was it?
I think they got, it was,
That's
and like
great.
Evan Peters as Quicksilver, I think, was there or whatever. Like, I think they gotten that. I feel like the next escalation, of course, they got Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. That's a big get, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the villain is, I don't know, somebody from that world, or someone shows up for a cameo. Maybe it's just to get killed. Maybe it is just, Nicholas Hoult shows up as Beast and gets splashed through or shot up by Deadpool. Who knows? I don't know. But I can imagine that being at least one cameo. I can't imagine them allowing, let's just have you murder all these actors and stuff. Even though, like, what does Disney care, right? Who cares? They're not making this continuity's dead. It's not moving forward anymore. But
they had all
gonna
of them
pay that
and
much
Storm
money
and Nightcrawler for the record.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's right. Nightcrawler was there. But like, that's a lot of money to spend on some A to B list actors, only to have them killed for like a joke. I mean, it would be a great joke.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just can't see them doing that. And it's Disney. Like, this movie's gonna be R-rated, but like, how R-rated is it really going to be?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You're going to see. Are they going to allow you to watch? Are we going to see 2 hours of just him murdering celebrities that we know as X-Men characters?
I mean,
don't
it's
know.
Deadpool
Probably
and
not.
Wolverine. Like, it
Yeah.
should be.
It could be, but I mean, we're going to see them murdering a lot of people. But are we going to see them murdering just like no-name extras, or
Right.
are we going to see them murdering?
Yeah, it's probably going to be
Rebecca Romaine and Ian McKellen.
right.
You know?
It's probably going to
Probably
be
not.
a red shirt shirt scenario.
Yeah. It would be dope if Ian McKellen came back just to get his head cut off by Deadpool, though. That'd be amazing.
Oh God. Yeah.
Oh man. Weren't there like rumors that they were going to introduce Mr. Sinister if they kept going with the Fox X-Men franchise? He was going to be
I think there were, and that would be
wasn't they like teased something about him at the end of Apocalypse, like the wasn't the post-credit scene from Apocalypse something regarding Mr. Like
Was
like
it?
vials out of a lab and had like his corporation.
yeah,
or something.
with Essex Corp and the whole
Essex
yeah.
Corp. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, that'd be cool if there was Mr. Sinister. It'd be cool if Deadpool continued to be the best X-Men franchise that there was and brought in Mr. Sinister before the X-Men movies could.
Dude, I want to see a movie accurate portrayal of like modern Sinister, because Sinister's had a couple of different iterations over the years.
Yeah.
The current one, like, and even the past like 5-6 years, like House of X and a little before that, where he's this smarmy, like flamboyant, over the top, but also
really?
just this crazy machinations behind. Like it's a very interesting portrayal of him.
Oh, nice.
And it really, really works. And it turns him from like people know him from X-Men the animated series or whatever, where it was just like he was more of a straight man. And like this iteration gives him a lot more character, and it's a lot more fun to play around with.
I always thought that. I was like, he's a cool looking character,
Yep.
but I never really like got what he was about.
Yep.
He's like obsessed with the Summers family tree, but like that's all I really like. Okay, but why?
He was just this geneticist that went off his rocker and happened to also it's
I like a little bit more, something that gives me a little more depth. Would be good. You got to wonder, like, I mean, it's been a while. It's been a while since Disney acquired Fox, and you'd think that we would have gotten. I don't know. You'd think that Deadpool 3 would have come out already. I guess
you would.
But
I would.
You know, that's part of the MCU. They have a very set schedule, as we're about to talk about in our next story. But also, like, you got to wonder. You know, what has Disney said? You can't do this because we want to do this when we introduce our X-Men. You know what I mean? What if what if Deadpool 3 wanted to bring in Mr. Sinister and they're like, nah, he's going to be our villain when 5 years from now when we get to X-Men, we're going to use him. So sorry, we can't let you. And they have to like, okay, well, we're going to rewrite our script.
Right.
I know. I'd be interested to see if there was any kind of constraints like that, and if so, what they were. Because I feel like there's got to be now that Disney's like, because Marvel and Kevin Feige are thinking 10 years in the future already. So there's like a lot of plans set in motion. If you wanted to use even a minor character that they were planning on using down the road, you can't. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, and I'm
because
pretty sure they know
coming from the
who
Fox
that is.
universe, like they probably had a whole story, a story at least, if not a script, in mind for years. And now all of a sudden they're Disney like, oh, sorry, you can't do 50% of this because we got the plans.
Well, because originally it was supposed to come out spring of next year when it was under the Fox calendar. So, it got pushed a year and a half, and a lot of that may have been stuff like that, where it's like, all right, well, we got to fit this into the continuity of what we're doing, or find a way to write in it not being in that continuity and how we connect it to it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's that. I really can't wait to see Deadpool show up in the proper MCU.
Yeah.
And see if he still feels like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, or if he feels watered down, or if they let him play.
Yeah. I mean, if these clips are any indication, it's just, I don't know if I guess if anyone could stop Ryan Reynolds, it's the mouse. But also, like, do you want to water the brand down for what your giant marketing machine is? Like, you have this global, like, I don't want to say, I mean, he is a megastar at this point, but
Sure.
like, you know, pure A-list, like get him out there and do his thing. And he's selling his own movie. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And why would you mess with that? Even if it is like, especially now that they're putting R-rated stuff on Disney Plus, and the Disney brand isn't kind of moving towards more inclusive, overarching now that they bought 20th Century Fox and all that. Do they just, you know, say screw it? And it's like, all right, well, this is your movie, go do it. You know, temper it a little, but not to the degree that Disney would.
Yeah. But I think also it's a possibility that they're like, okay, yeah, you can do your Deadpool 3. It can be rated R. You can finish out your trilogy. But after that, you're part of the MCU and everything's got to be PG-13, and we're going to do what you got to do, what we tell you to do. You know what I mean?
See, I think
Like-
there might be too much outcry if they tried to make a PG-13 Deadpool. Like, it just
Well,
wouldn't
they
work.
did try to make a PG-13. They did make a PG-13 Deadpool. They did a PG-13 cut of Deadpool 2. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was like released for Christmas, and I kind of want to see it because they shot a ton of new footage. They Princess Brided it, where
Oh, yeah, I heard
Deadpool
about
is
that.
reading
Yeah.
the story of Deadpool 2 to Fred Savage, like grown-up Fred Savage.
That's what,
and he's
yes.
like, yeah.
That was, I forgot about that.
And I think I remember reading that it was Ryan Reynolds' idea to prove to Disney that Deadpool could work in a PG-13 world. And even so, they're giving him Deadpool 3 as rated R, which makes me think that we don't know if we're going to get a Deadpool 4.
Right.
Because, like, how many characters get a fourth movie in the MCU? And, like, if the MCU has plans for Deadpool, whether it be X-Men or X-Force or whatever he shows up in,
Mm-hmm.
he might just be a character that shows up and leaves and doesn't get a Deadpool 4. Maybe it depends on how good Deadpool 3 does.
Right.
But
I mean, right now it's Thor and Thor.
Thor is the only single character that's gotten a fourth movie.
Yeah. And I mean, technically Cap, but it'll be two different Caps.
Yeah. I mean, technically the first two Deadpools aren't MCU movies, but
Right.
I guess they kind of will be
Right.
after Deadpool 3 is an MCU movie.
Yeah.
That's like people are arguing now that, like, oh no, all Spider-Man movies are now MCU movies because they're all intertwined. They kind of are, though.
And
Because
no,
there's one movie that's an MCU movie that requires you to know
True.
Tobey Maguire's trilogy and Andrew Garfield's two movies. Otherwise, it makes zero sense.
Still
So,
need to go back and watch those Garfield movies again. It's been
dude,
a long
they're
time.
good. They are good. There's like stumbling parts in 2, but a lot of 2 is really good. Like better than I expected. Don't
All
let
right.
the bad parts of 2 suck you down. Like the good parts of 2 are really, really good. Some great Spider-Man stuff.
It's funny to see what he's done since Spider-Man. Like, he went from Spider-Man to, okay, this guy is just being nominated for everything under the sun.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But also would be Spider-Man again in a second. I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Was Spider-Man again in a second.
Yeah, was. And loved it. You could tell that he loved doing it.
Yeah.
And I feel if Sony was like, yo, we need you to do Amazing Spider-Man 3, he'd be like, yes, let's do it tomorrow.
Right. But, I mean, same thing from Star Wars, where you get someone like Adam Driver, like Kylo Ren cast after, I mean, at the time it was Girls, and that was pretty much it when he was cast as Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
And then goes through the iterations and then drops Marriage Story, and you're just like, what?
Oh, I know.
Where did this guy come from? Okay.
I know.
That movie was just, that's its own animal.
Yeah.
We could take many segues down the other movies rabbit hole, but let's stay on target.
I was going to say, instead, we're going to stick with the Marvel universe in a Marvel movie that was supposed to come out a couple years from now.
Yeah.
Hopefully it still will. Blade. Marvel's Blade has lost its director. That's right. Bassam Tariq has stepped down as director less than 2 months before filming was supposed to begin. Yikes. Filming was supposed to begin in November. Marvel issues a statement saying that due to shifts in production schedule, the director has stepped away. However, Tariq also issued a similar statement, like, good luck to whoever ends up taking this. Like, I wish Marvel the best and create, ending on good terms and all this Hollywood, bullshit statements that always
we
happen
have to say this
after a thing like this. Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's make each other look good and, not give anybody actually any insight into what happened. However, a film critic named Jeff Snyder, somebody that I've been following for a long time, who I trust very well. He's worked for a number of different outlets. He tweeted this. That story was broken by the Hollywood Reporter. But Jeff started tweeting about it 3 minutes before Hollywood Reporter dropped their story. And he said the following on Twitter. Jeff Snyder tweeted, quote, "Hearing Blade director has exited the project," which 3 minutes later turned out to be true. He also tweeted the same night, "I'm told that the current Blade script is roughly 90 pages and features exactly 2 lackluster action scenes." That's not a whole lot for an hour and a half, 2-hour movie. That's supposed to be an action movie. 2 scenes, not great. Mahershala Ali said to be very frustrated with the process. That is the titular Blade, Mahershala Ali. Feige, meaning Kevin Feige, said to be spread too thin. But hey, that's just what sources are telling me. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
So this paints a bleaker picture of not only Blade, but kind of like what's going on at Marvel headquarters, MCU headquarters, I guess. So I mean, if this is true, and again, this is from somebody that I trust. I clearly don't have any personal relationship with this guy or insider knowledge, but he was right about the director having exited the project because it was confirmed a few minutes later.
Yeah.
But saying the script is 90 pages long. Just so you people know, like a movie script is generally between 90 and 120 pages long. So 90 pages is
Tight.
on the short side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which would be shocking for a Marvel movie because we all know Marvel movies are normally 2 hours and 40 minutes long.
Great. And we'll get to other Marvel movies later that are
and we're going to talk about that a little bit later in one shots. So a short movie with only 2 action scenes, I can tell, Mahershala Ali is an Oscar-winning actor who went to Kevin Feige and Marvel saying, "I want to be Blade." They're making this movie because an Oscar-nominated actor came to them saying, "I want to be Blade. Make me Blade."
Yeah.
And they said, "Yeah, okay, you're Blade."
And they came out at, what was it? Was it D23 a couple years ago, or
It was Comic-Con 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah.
Where he was there and was like,
He was there, and he walked out and put on a hat that said Blade, and they flashed a big logo,
Mhm.
and that was the end of their panel. It's crazy. So this is a bummer that it's losing its director. Are they going to get a director in the next 2 months that can come on and start making this movie to stay on schedule? Is this movie going to get delayed? If Mahershala Ali is frustrated, what kind of changes is that going to happen? If Kevin Feige is being spread too thin, yeah, no shit, he's being spread too thin. Like, you're trying to make 1,000 movies in the next year.
right.
Like,
You go from the first saga being 20 something films over 10 plus years to that many things being produced in like 2-3 years now. Like, of course you're spread too thin, and it's even more jammed moving forward. Like, we've said for a while that they need to pace this and slow it down. But,
they're not.
They're not going to, and it may be looking the gift horse in the mouth a little here.
Yeah, I know. I feel like Marvel, the success of the MCU, lets people like rush by news like this without thinking because the movies make money or the movies are good, one of those two things, or sometimes both if we're lucky. But I feel like, say like if Shazam, Fury of the Gods, if a DC movie lost its director, it would be a huge story and people would be shitting on it forever. Like, oh, DC, you can't get their shit together. David Sandberg is walking away from Shazam 2. Like, that'd be a huge deal. People would be, pointing to it as like examples of why this is why you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Marvel movies have lost directors before.
Yeah.
And people just sail on by. I don't know why. I think the goodwill, I guess, of the MCU lets people say like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll just brush this under the rug. We'll just forget about this. But I don't know. I feel like I see tweets like this from Jeff Snyder. I see them losing their director. I remember the stories about the virtual effects houses being strained. You read Kevin Feige is being spread too thin. That's not a shock at all. Like, putting those pieces together, I start thinking, Steve, is this like we're starting to see cracks in the MCU? I feel like, and do we think this is indicative of a crash or a derailment of the MCU?
I think until we see more, it's at least a hiccup.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, if things get confirmed that everything's fallen off the rails, then I would say we may not, no offense, we may not be heading towards DC territory, but we're on the way of like ship's coming to a crash.
I think it's been there's a lot of talented people that are involved in the MCU, and they do a lot of hard work. I'm aware of what it takes to make a movie at all. Like, the work that goes into making the worst movie you've ever seen is more work than you've ever done in your life. You know what I mean? Like, it's like takes a lot of people to make the worst movie ever. It takes a lot of people to make the best movie ever. So I get that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I understand that it's hard to make a movie, but also it's hard to keep this engine going for so long and so consistently without a hiccup. And they've had some hiccups along the way that they've been able to recover from. They've lost actors before. Ed Norton, the guy that used to be Iron War Machine, whatever. Like, not those are the two major ones, but
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard, yes, thank you. And they've lost directors before. But I feel like they've had a tremendous... Oh, sorry, that's what I was going to say. Sorry, I was saying it takes a lot of talented people to make a movie. The MCU has also, besides the talent, they've also had a tremendous amount of luck in getting these movies out on time, getting these movies to have a seamless continuity that works for most people, to have actors that are available to either go to continue in the role or come back to reprise a role. Like, they've had an incredible amount of luck in getting things out in such a tight time frame. But now we're starting to see these stumbling blocks of virtual effects houses not doing great, and they they changed the they upgraded visual effects in Thor: Love and Thunder between theatrical release and Disney Plus release. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, they changed some of the digital effects or upgraded them, and it's still people are saying it still doesn't look great, but it looks better.
Right.
So it's like they're doing work after the fact. So stuff like this, I feel like, I mean, I don't wish this upon any franchise, but I feel like it's only a matter of time before we see some kind of derailment or okay, we got to press pause because our executive producer is tearing his hair out from stress.
Yeah. Do they need to fail to get back on the rails is the question, though. Because we've all, these last couple of projects they've had, everyone has been like, yeah, it's good, but it's good. It's just good.
It's good, not great.
Whereas in phase, the first couple of phases, 1 through 3, there were some A pluses.
Oh, sure.
Here everybody's floating B minus, C plus.
I know. Yeah.
Everything floating along, you're like, oh yeah, I'm glad I watched it, but I don't need to, rewatch it like I would Winter Soldier or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I really loved, I'm trying to think of phase 4 stuff that I loved. I really loved WandaVision. Haven't watched it again. I really loved Black Widow. Haven't watched it again. I liked Doctor Strange too quite a bit.
Yeah.
No desire to really watch it again. And that's it.
That really Ms. Marvel.
Those
I'm not going to rewatch
it,
but I really liked it. She-Hulk.
Sorry,
Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same.
Really enjoying. Not going to rewatch them.
Speaking of She-Hulk, still great, by the way. Love that show. I know somebody who has worked with somebody who draws the end credit scenes.
Oh yeah.
The end credits.
Yeah.
Like the watercolor things. Who creates those? And this person has told me that the person that they know that is doing it similar to what we've heard with the VFX houses, they ask for tons of changes and tons of revisions at the absolute last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Even on something like just the watercolor things in the credits. Like, wow.
That's
like, you
insane.
can't even get that? Like, what? So it just seems like, I don't know, like, have they created a monster that cannot be fed at this point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if they haven't, they're getting close to it.
They're getting close to it. Because if Feige is spread too thin now and he just announced a ton more projects of Phase 5 and Phase 6, like,
Yeah.
what is going to happen here? So, I don't know. We will see if Blade gets another director in the next 2 months or it gets delayed. I mean, don't be surprised if we are reporting on one of those two stories in the next couple weeks. Because if there was a movie that was supposed to start filming in November, it is October 2nd, as I'm saying these words. So you would think that they would either have to get a director on board right now
Mm-hmm.
or delay the movie.
Yeah, that seems right.
And that's the problem that you get into when you have such a tight continuity that you have to adhere to. You know, if you delay Blade, what else has to be delayed? What has to be shuffled around? What rewrites do you have to do so that Blade can come out after this other movie that was not supposed to come out before it, but now it has to, so we have to change this cameo or this post-credit scene or whatever the hell, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just wild. Just wild. Speaking of changes within the MCU, moving on to our last Marvel story for the night. Armor Wars. Remember Armor Wars? I barely do. I forget about it all the time because we never hear anything about it. Armor Wars was a show for Disney Plus that was announced like 2 years ago or something, starring Don Cheadle, reprising the role as Colonel James Rhodes, War Machine from the Iron Man films. He's done a good amount of cameoing, hasn't he? He was in what was he in Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
For a
couple
quickie.
times.
Yep.
Was there another one that he showed up in real quick?
Might have been.
I don't remember.
Was it?
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know. Nah, maybe it was just that. I think it was just that. But anyway, this was a show, but now it's not going to be a show. Did they cancel it? No. They're just changing it from a show to a movie. Armor Wars is going to be developed now as a feature film. What are you laughing at?
I typed in Don Cheadle cameo, and Don Cheadle was nominated for an Emmy for his 3-minute cameo in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Wow. Congratulations.
So you can
Don
understand
Cheadle.
why I immediately burst out in laughter.
Congratulations.
So I apologize for derailing that statement.
Is that like best
deserved.
cameo? Yeah, best cameo under 3 minutes long?
Right.
Yeah.
Best cameo at approximately 3 minutes in length.
Weird.
Yeah, outstanding guest actor in a drama series.
Oh, okay. Sure, that makes sense.
So, yeah.
But anyway, this was going to be a series, and now it's going to be a feature film. This article, or this story was broken by The Hollywood Reporter, saying that the studio was committed to telling the story in the right way. And I guess they realized that this story would work better as a movie than it would work as a series. Yasir Lester, who was serving as the showrunner of the series, will stay on as the head writer of the film, not necessarily the director. They didn't say that he was going to be the director, so this is the most information we've had about this since they announced it. They said they're doing a show called Armor Wars, and it's going to have Don Cheadle as Rhodey back. We don't know what it's about. We don't know when it happens. And clearly now it's going to take even longer to come out, so it must not be super relevant to any Phase 4 stuff or Phase 5 stuff. I feel like it's going to be a while now, especially if they're reconfiguring the entire thing. Do you think that this is a thing where they just realized they didn't have enough story to fill 6 episodes? Or like, nah, this has got to be a movie.
Might be.
Or like, I don't know. Or maybe it was... Or the story's bigger than a show.
Well, I mean, we have been complaining about some of the shows that just have enough fluff that it's like, you could have cut this down to a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
So if you've got a 6-episode show and 2 of them are fluff and you've got some extras in the other episodes, you can cut that down to a 3-hour movie, no problem. 2-hour movie.
Yeah. I mean, I do like that they are, and when I say they, I mean Marvel and Disney, I guess, capable of making a decision like this, where they're like, you know what? No, this would be better as a movie, because I don't know. I think I really like the Obi-Wan series. I feel like it would have been better as a movie. That would have been a movie worthy story.
It could have been, yeah.
To have Ewan McGregor and Christian Haydenson. Christian Haydenson?
It's the doppelganger. Yeah, he was.
Hayden Christensen. Yeah. Sorry. Do you think there's got to be somebody in the world named Christian Haydenson?
Oh, right? I'm sure.
I want the two of them in a movie together playing brothers.
That sounds like there's definitely somebody, some Nordic, someone who's who was Christian, son of Hayden.
Yeah, there's got to be
Christian Haydenson.
I'm sure there's a Gib Michelson.
Yeah,
out there somewhere.
There you go.
Hal Stever. It's got to be
probably
there.
Not.
I think there is.
Our etymology is definitively defined from the salt industry in Germany. So,
oh, is that true?
Yep, holler, halite, salt. Yep.
Well, yeah, but just because your etymology is devised from that doesn't mean that Hal Stever doesn't come from a different etymology. It could just be something. The only thing is that the name is the thing.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
we'll get there.
Anyway, I like that they are capable of making this change and not just like, no, we said it was going to be a show, so it has to be a show. And I wish Lucasfilm, Star Wars, Disney had made that decision about Obi-Wan, but at least they can do it with this. And I hope that, I don't know, not everything has to be 6 episodes. I feel like this probably means that it would have been a boring 6-episode series, but will probably be a pretty action-packed 1.5, 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, it could be something that we would have snoozed at, like, oh, great. Yeah. There were some moments, but
I mean, it's got to be something that we haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. And if it's a War Machine centered film, you got to make it different than the 3 Iron Man movies that we've seen, plus all the Iron Man stuff that we saw in all the other Avengers movies and team up movies and stuff. So,
yep.
I don't know. You got to make it big. You got to make it different. Is Ironheart going to be in this movie? Is Riri going to show up? That'd be cool. But
I would assume that's a yes. But
I would assume. There was a big toy conference, I guess, this weekend. Hasbro had a big toy.
Oh yeah.
Thing. And if you want, you can find out what Riri Williams will look like in her Ironheart costume because they revealed the action figure for Riri as Ironheart. The toys, man. The toys are what always
They always do it. It's like
they always get spoilers.
Yeah, I always follow Lego stuff because my son and I are obsessed with it. But always the goat boat for Thor was out months before that was even a thing in the movies.
Yep.
Which I have officially seen Love and Thunder, so yeah.
Oh, nice.
I think we might have talked about that last week.
I think we did touch on it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So if you're avoiding spoilers, watch out for toys and watch out for soundtracks because sometimes they title songs from soundtracks based on what's happening in that scene. Famously, I believe that there was a track on the soundtrack to Phantom Menace.
Yes,
called
there was.
The Death of Qui-Gon or Qui-Gon's Funeral or something.
It was Qui-Gon's funeral,
okay. Yep. Thanks, John Williams. Anyway, be mindful out there for spoilers. And that's Armor Wars. That's all the Marvel stuff we got tonight. It's pretty much most of the news we have tonight. We don't have many other... got some one-shots of other stuff, but no big Star Wars news, no DC stuff this week. Except Black Adam's coming out. We're a couple weeks away from Black Adam. I'm very excited about that. Oh, speaking of Marvel putting out too much and Kevin Feige being spread too thin, I got to say, I'm super pumped to go see Black Adam. I probably said this before. I know I've said this before on the podcast, but I'm saying it again. I'm super pumped to go see Black Adam, partially because there hasn't been another DC movie since The Batman in February or whatever. And that's a different... Oh, March. It came out on my birthday. And that's a different continuity.
Yeah.
Completely. In this continuity, there hasn't been one since Suicide Squad.
Right.
And I love that movie too, but absence makes the heart grow fonder. Marvel. Disney.
Shoving
Should,
content out down our throats does not necessarily.
Yeah, exactly. And as excited as I was for Black Adam to come out in October and then Shazam to come out in December, I know by the time Shazam comes out in March or whenever it got moved to, like, I'll be super hyped to see that because it's been since October since I saw a DC movie, and I haven't been inundated with another show and 6 movies in the meantime.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's coming. I'm excited. Black Adam.
There we go. And you can go from Black Adam to watching Werewolf by Night. So
That's true. Does that come out next week or 2 weeks from now?
I think 2 weeks from now.
I've heard some good initial reactions on Werewolf by Night.
Nice.
It's looking good.
Yeah. First episode, October 7th.
October 7th. Oh, okay. So that's next week.
Next week, yeah.
Sweet. That's awesome. That's before Black Adam, I think.
And the exact quote from Michael Giacchino, the Werewolf by Night director, says he included lots of gore because no one said no.
Yeah, I read that he expected it to be a rated R.
Yeah,
or
like a TVMA type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think when you do it in black and white, when it's not like bright red blood, you get a bit of a pass.
Right.
So that probably helped. Also, he's in. Apparently, there's a lot of other like Marvel monsters that are introduced in this
Oh, really?
show, just in cameos. Man-Thing
Really?
being one of them. Yeah.
Nice.
The freeze frame. Apparently, in the trailer, there's a really quick shot of Man-Thing.
Yep.
That you can see, and Kevin Feige said something recently about how like this is opening a whole new door and showing an important era or important area of the MCU moving forward. So there's going to be a lot of like, there's going to be more monster stuff. And I got to imagine he's talking about Blade. I feel like Blade's going to not only deal with vampires, but maybe some more.
I mean, if we
stuff.
get Blade, we've got to get a Midnight Suns.
Right?
Like,
I know.
give me the supernatural.
Yeah, I know. Please.
I don't know. Call me crazy, but.
Speaking of supernatural, kind of.
Yeah.
We got a trailer this week, a full trailer. We talked about a teaser a few weeks ago, but we got a full trailer for HBO's The Last of Us series adaptation of the acclaimed, incredible video game series. This stars, I'm blanking on his name. I should have written it down. Mandalorian.
Oh,
Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal.
And Bella Ramsey.
And Bella Ramsey, yes, as Joel and Ellie. The two main characters surviving a plant-based zombie apocalypse, more or less. The game is incredible. Some of the best storytelling I've ever seen in any video game ever. The trailer looks pretty awesome, I gotta say. They spent some money on this show. We don't really get a good look at the monster until the very end, but when we do, it looks a lot like the creatures in the video games, and that makes me very scared to watch this show.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Oh no, it's not going to be an easy watch, but it's going to be a good watch.
Yeah. I feel like in an era where Walking Dead is winding down, we're in the final episodes of Walking Dead, I believe, right now. I'm not watching it because I haven't watched it for the last like 3 seasons, but that maybe people are hungry for a more zombie-esque post-apocalyptic world. I think The Last of Us is going to slide in at a great time. Maybe catch people that are sad to be done with Walking Dead and they want a new like similar show, surviving an apocalyptic wasteland kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know. I thought this trailer looked great. And I think Pedro Pascal, while being Hispanic, and I don't believe the original character was, he really feels like the same character to me from the game. He's really like playing it very well. And Bella Ramsey as well. I think they're both incredibly well cast for this show based on this trailer. And it just did a really good job of encapsulating the game, like the carnage, the chaos, the uncertainty, the anxiety. It was all there for me. I loved it. I'm very excited about it.
Oh, you know who's playing Tommy?
Nope.
Gabriel Luna.
Oh shit!
Ghost Rider himself. Yeah.
Speaking of the Midnight Suns.
There we go. Huh. All right. We're on to something
I would
here.
I would absolutely love, going back to Marvel for a second. They're doing their whole multiverse thing. What's stopping them from bringing Ghost Rider back? Gabriel Luna as, what's his name?
Robbie Reyes.
Reyes? Robbie
Yeah.
Reyes? I was thinking of Jaime Reyes from Blue Beetle.
Wrong Reyes.
What's to stop them from bringing Ghost Rider in the MCU with Robbie Reyes, Gabriel Luna, but then also give me Nicolas Cage as Johnny Blaze. Bring that dude back.
I was going to say,
as, like,
nothing's stopping
do
you
like
because it's Johnny Blaze and and
Yeah.
Robbie Reyes. So
Yeah, you could have it be like a mentor-mentee thing. You
Right.
know, like I'm showing you the ropes. I used to be the spirit of vengeance. Now you're the spirit of vengeance, and like this is what it's like. And then maybe Nicolas Cage like dies at the end of the movie or whatever, and then it like Robbie Reyes has to take the reins, the new Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Give me that. Give me that. Disney, what are you waiting for? There's money on the table. Like what? Nicolas Cage is gonna say no?
Right.
He doesn't say no to anything.
No, Nicolas Cage does whatever. If you write him a check, he'll do it.
Did you see that movie? Speaking of Pedro Pascal, did you see that movie that Nicolas Cage just did with Pedro Pascal called "The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent"?
No, but I wanted to.
Nicolas Cage plays a fictionalized version of himself.
Yeah.
Going and like Pedro Pascal plays this like super rich like drug lord or something who just is a big Nicolas Cage fan, and so the FBI pays Nicolas Cage to go hang out with
this
Pedro
guy.
Pascal and like get secrets from him or something. Like, I think that's it. I haven't seen it
that's
either,
amazing.
but it just looks incredible,
Yeah.
and I just love
Absolutely.
the idea of Nicolas Cage playing himself. I think is hilarious.
Oh, Nick Offerman's in it too.
Oh no way! I love that guy.
Huh. There's all sorts of people around this thing.
Yeah, I've heard it was pretty good. Seemed pretty funny from the trailers and stuff that I saw. So anyway, there's a non-nerdy recommendation for you if you're a Nicolas Cage being crazy fan. I mean, that's pretty much every movie that he's in. But,
Oh, Jeff Pierce, who was Tommy in the game, like the voice of Tommy,
Okay.
is apparently playing live action a rebel in the quarantine zone.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm
That's
glad
cool.
they gave him a nice little cameo there.
Yeah, reaching out to like some of the game actors and giving them some.
Yep, and
Wow.
Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson, who portrayed Joel and Ellie in the games, will end up in the series in undisclosed roles.
Oh, great.
So I'm glad that's gotten confirmed because, well, that's just awesome.
Yeah, Troy Baker is all over the place. He's like a huge voice actor. I see his name all the time.
Yep.
Nice. Awesome. All right, moving into comics. No huge comics news this week, but we do have some really great books coming out this week. We got in your local comic book stores this Wednesday, Ant-Man #4, Batman #128. It's insane that I haven't read Batman 127 yet. It's sitting on my desk right behind me.
Right over
Insanity. Yeah, I got to read that shit.
there. It's sitting right underneath The Amazing Shakes #1.
Heyo, yeah, update on the Amazing Shakes. I have all the books. I have started delivering them either personally or through the U.S. Postal Service. So
Comes in handy to live right near him,
Yeah, it sure does. I got a chunk of them out in the mail a couple days ago. I'm going to keep blazing through them this week and try to get as many out in the mail as I possibly can. I've got a lot more to go, but they are in and they are being sent out. So watch your mailboxes, people. If you have backed my comic book, The Amazing Shakes #1, it's on its way to you, hopefully very soon. Anyway, Ant-Man #4, Batman #128, Becoming Frankenstein #2, just in time for spooky season, Blade Runner, Black Lotus #3, Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty #5, Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths #5. Did you made a face at Captain America? Did you want to say something about Captain America?
I was going to wait till you were done with the rundown on it.
Oh, okay, sure. Earth Divers #1, Garbage Pail Kids Origins #1, because that's a franchise that I always needed to know the origins of. Gotham
not?
City Year 1 #1. This next book, based on the title alone, very excited about it. Hell Witch versus Lady Death Wargasm #1.
Okay.
Definitely going to pick that up. Hulk #9, The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing #1, new miniseries for The Joker. Junkyard Joe #1, Miracle Man #0, New Fantastic Four #5, Poison Ivy #5, the penultimate issue, I believe, in the Poison Ivy run. I think it's only 6 issues. Spider-Man, number 1. Star Wars The Mandalorian, number 4. Survival Street, number 3. Sweetie Candy Vigilante, number 1. And Unbreakable Red Sonja, number 1. New run on Red Sonja starting this week. At your local comic book store. So many other cool stuff going on. Steve, what did you have to say?
So that Sons of Liberty, this
Sentinel
is...
of Liberty.
Or Sentinel of Liberty. Sons of Liberty was a very different thing. Sentinel of Liberty, the news came out this week that starting with issue 8 of that, it will be Captain America Cold War. Nothing to do with anything outside of the fact that Mr. Steve Rogers and Ms. Emma Frost will be teaming up.
Whoa, that's a cool team up.
So, yeah, hence the
White Queen
Cold
herself.
War. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. But I saw that come out. I'm like, this I may have to start looking into this.
Yeah, sometimes all you need is an interesting meetup of characters that don't belong together at all.
Who
Steve Rogers and Emma Frost are two characters that I don't think belong together.
No,
at all.
Who are two diametrically opposed characters? Okay, let's go with that.
Sometimes that's all you need. Yeah. Just force these two characters to work together and see what happens. That's cool. That's awesome. Nice. This is part of the show where I usually say what I'm reading, but honestly, I have not read a book in a long time. I got a stack of Something Is Killing the Children behind me. I'm behind on Nightwing. I'm behind on Poison Ivy. I'm behind on Batman. I'm behind on Superman, Son of Kal-El. All these ongoing books that I've been reading. I'm just not. I haven't been able to keep up with them. I've been doing too much other stuff lately, and that's shitty. I got to get back to it. Got to jump back in. Steve, you reading anything currently?
Nope.
Awesome.
That's it.
Same boat.
Nope.
All right. I know there's going to be some night where I just like, and now it's hard because now, like I said, it's spooky season.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I got to watch all these like scary movies. I got to like feed that part of me, you know? So I know there's just going to be some night when I just sit down and I blaze through a bunch of books, and that'll be the greatest night ever. But I just got to find the right time. It's got to be the right night.
Well, and I keep grabbing trades, and I keep like this pull list that's still happening. Like,
I know. I'm still trying to get through Sandman. I'm still trying to get to Swamp Thing, Alan Moore's Swamp Thing run.
I've got the Coates Black Panther I'm working through.
Black Panther, that's right. You mentioned that a while ago. Yep. Yeah,
all good
there's a lot
books
that I'm working through, but
there's a lot of good
working.
content out there.
Yeah, can they just stop publishing comic books for like 2 months so I can get caught up and then they can start again?
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
That'd be very
Let's
helpful.
go with that.
DC, Marvel, Boom, if you're listening, just press pause just for me and Steve real quick. Give us a break.
Boom would give me the break on Once in Future, so we should, that'd help too.
Have you heard, Steve, that Something Is Killing the Children is ending with issue 26?
Yes.
Okay.
That is an accurate thing.
Okay, I didn't know that. 26, it's not out yet, though, right?
I don't think so.
I feel like I have up through 25, but I stopped reading at like 19 or something, and I have to catch up. But now I kind of just want to wait till 26 comes out so I can just finish the entire thing at once.
Yeah, November 16th. So yes.
Oh, November. Oh shit. Okay, I don't want to wait that long. All right.
So you got a ways.
Well, I got a ways to go. Okay.
Well, speaking of
that's great. That's ending.
we should
anyway. Go ahead.
So speaking of a ways, we should probably take this to one shots because
let's get into one shots so we can wrap this thing up.
It's more a while, but the first one shot of the day is that Black Panther: Wakanda Forever will officially be Marvel's second longest movie they've made.
Whoa.
Because what? Why not?
Why
2
not?
hours and 41 minutes on the official runtime.
So I believe that Endgame is the only longer movie.
Yes.
That is wild. However, I feel like considering what we know that movie is about and what it is dealing with, that's a lot. You got to go through
and bring in and redo.
Yeah, I mean they're dealing with not only reeling from and dealing with and coping with the death of T'Challa. They are also introducing Namor, the Submariner, and the entire ocean culture of him, and coming up with some kind of conflict for the two kingdoms to clash about. So that's a lot. So I want you to, take the time to do all that for sure. I don't want you to rush through that. But also at the same time, 2 hours and 41 minutes, that's a long movie.
It is.
That's a long movie. But I think I'm still very excited for Wakanda Forever. It's like the Marvel project I am most excited about currently. So
yeah,
I'll sit through it. Absolutely I will. Absolutely I will. Another movie that I will sit through regardless of how long it is Blue Beetle. And we got an update from the star Angel Manuel Soto. I was doing an NPR interview. And to remind you, once Batgirl was canceled, everybody was immediately assuming that Blue Beetle was going to get canceled too, because it's a lesser-known character. It's a movie that's starring a minority in the titular role, Hispanic in the titular role, as was Batgirl. So people thought this was going to get canceled. It's going to get canceled. It's going to get canceled. Apparently, it's not going to get canceled, as Angel Manuel Soto told NPR. In the wake of Batgirl's cancellation, he says, "I'm not going to lie. There was concern, anger, fear at first, but they told me not to worry. The film has their full support." So if that's accurate, and I assume that it is because we haven't heard anything yet, and it's being developed as a theatrical release, that's some good news for DC fans all over the world. Blue Beetle seems to be safe from David Zaslav's cancellation happy reign over there at Warner Brothers. So that's some good news for DC fans.
You get the X, and you get the X, and
Yeah.
you get the X.
Yeah.
So, the next one shot of the day would be something Mike alluded to earlier, inadvertently. The Sandman, Neil Gaiman's amazing epic proportions. The Audible adaptation, which we've talked about numerous times on the pod before, has part 3 officially dropped out of nowhere. It just appeared.
Complete surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gaiman kind of talked about it on Twitter the week before, saying, hey, it was happening. Like, they were working on it, and then it just showed up.
Yeah, I saw the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that it's just like, yeah, we're working on it. And then all of a sudden, boom, there it is.
Now it's
I have not started it.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, I still haven't gotten through season 2, so.
Neither I. I'm less than halfway through season 2, so I got to get back to that.
The standard,
and as I just
it's
mentioned,
really
I'm
good.
still trying to read the damn books at the same time. So, it's probably not a good sign that they're making audio drama versions of the books faster than I can read them.
Right.
So that's on me. I got to step up my reading. I mean, I'm on volume 7, so that's like I'm a ways down the road.
Yeah.
But still, I think part 3 is probably part 1 was like volumes 1 and 2. Part 2 is probably 3 and 4. Part 3 is probably 5 and 6. So they're really catching up to you. Yeah, so that's not good. I got to really get
Got to work on that, man.
All right, our last one shot of the night is one that's a bummer, but not a huge shock considering how we found out about this movie existing in the first place. Paramount has officially removed Star Trek 4 from its release schedule. Now, if you will remember, a few months ago, Paramount announced that they were making Star Trek 4 with the cast of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, including Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, yada yada. And then it came out a day later that none of those actors had known anything about them making this movie and hadn't signed on and hadn't seen a script or anything and didn't know that it was even happening. And apparently it's not. Apparently it's not happening. The movie has been removed from the schedule quietly, although not as quietly as I think Paramount would have hoped, because we all noticed it's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I feel like I got to think that this timeline's just not going to move forward. I mean, I can't say that we'll never see any of those actors again in a cameo or something down the road, but a proper Star Trek 4 seems off the table at this point if they can't get it done with the amount
or
of
at least
momentum
for the foreseeable
that
future.
Paramount.
Yeah.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said, or at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, for sure. But like right now, like you and I have talked about a bunch of times, despite we not being Star Trek fans, Paramount Plus and Star Trek in general has tons of momentum right now with like a bunch of hit shows, like at least 3 or 4 hit shows on Paramount Plus. There's a lot of Star Trek buzz going on right now, and a lot of those shows have really good reviews and a lot of fans. So if you can't get Star Trek 4 made now, you're probably never going to make Star Trek 4 with this cast. It's going to be a reboot or a film adaptation of one of the shows that you have on your network or something, but I don't think Chris Pine is coming back as Captain Kirk anytime soon. If he does, great. I'll see it. But at this point, I'll be shocked. Having him not even know about Star Trek 4 in the first place when they announced it,
Right.
It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So
yeah,
that's a bummer.
Not helping
for
anyone's
Star Trek
cause.
fans. So sorry to end on a bummer of a story, but how can we turn this around? Let's see. If you're watching Andor, Star Wars Andor, check your feed for a review that Steve and I just recorded a moment ago about episode 4. Spoiler alert, we love this show very much, and you should be watching it and listening to our recaps of it. We did not do a House of the Dragon review this week. We did not do a Lord of the Rings review this week. However, we will probably end up doing season recaps of both those shows because they're worthy of it. It's quick, just for the people listening, because Steve, I know you haven't seen the most recent episode of Lord of the Rings. I believe it's episode 6. Guys, episode 6 of Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, is amazing. It's so good. If you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely see it. Wildly good. So cool. And also She-Hulk continues to be wonderful and lovely and great and funny and fun. Even though they teased Daredevil at the end of like an episode or 2 ago. We still haven't seen him, but that's still okay. I don't know. People are just mad that like it's not what they want it to be, I don't think. But all those people are idiots because it's just great. Just accept it. It's not what you want. I don't know what you want, but it's amazing. It's so fun.
Oh, it is.
Fun and fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. I still, the wedding episode from 2 weeks ago, rewatched that with my wife the other night. Oh, yeah. She was out of town when it aired, and I was like, oh, nice. Oh, we gotta catch up. And just watch that. I was like, yeah, it's just fun. Like, even rewatching it, I'm like, okay. Yeah, it's okay.
It's just fun and funny. It's great. So anyway, those things are happening. You should watch those things. Steve, is there anything else you want to talk about, touch on, bring up?
No, I think you nailed it. Beyond that,
I don't think there's anything else.
If we don't have anything else, I'd say if you want to hear us talk about more things, check out the multiverseport.com, the multiverseport@gmail.com if you want to find us and talk to us via emails. Multiverse Report on socials. Beyond that, check us out on your podcatcher of choice. Leave us a review, write a review, leave us a rating. There we go. That's it.
There you go.
YouTube, here on Twitch. If you're watching us on Twitch, please follow us. Any of those things help the algorithms decide to let more people check us out. So if you could do that, it'd be appreciated. And I guess we'll go from there.
Yeah, that'd be great. So also, you could let us know if there's something you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Let us know. Send us an email. If you want to hear us debate, I don't know, Last Jedi or Batman versus Superman or other controversial films or whatever, or anything. If there's something you want to hear us talk about or complain about or rank,
we'll review the Star Wars holiday special for you.
Yeah, just let us know.
Oh, did I just volunteer us for that?
You did.
Okay, sorry.
And it'll be your fault. I mean, please don't make us watch the Star Wars Hollywood special. Holiday special. But if you want us to, fine. I guess we will. But you got to tell us. You got to write that email. Otherwise, we won't know.
Yeah, leave it in a review on Apple Podcasts, and if you leave it in a review on Apple Podcasts, we will do it.
If you leave it in a 5-star review,
yes, 100%.
Yeah. Then we'll do it. Hell, we'll do a commentary.
Live track by track as it goes.
Live commentary.
I can do that now.
All right. Well, there you go, fans. Hit us up. Let us know what you want to hear about. And if nothing, if you just like what we're doing, that's fine too, and we'll keep doing it. But anyway, regardless, thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time in the multiverse.